In 1970, more than 60% of Americans lived in the middle class. Today, less than 50%. And that number is shrinking faster than at any point in history. This isn't a political opinion. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is happening right now to your generation. And the worst part, most people have absolutely no idea why. And this channel exists because I think that the financial system was never designed to work in your favor. And today's topic is proof to that. The middle class, the foundation of the American dream, the promise that hard work leads to success, is collapsing. Today, I want to show you exactly why. Who's driving it, who's benefiting from it, and what you can do about it. So let's get into it. Before we talk about why it's disappearing, we first of all have to define what we are actually talking about. The middle class isn't just an income bracket. It's a set of expectations. You work hard, you get a job, you raise a family, and you retire comfortably. And now that was the deal that was sold to all of us. And for decades, it worked. After World War II, America built the largest middle class ever seen on the planet. Factory workers owned homes. Now, single income houses supported an entire family. A high school diploma was enough to build a decent life. The middle class wasn't just an economic category. It was a promise, an identity, basically a social contract. And now, that contract is being broken. Economists define the middle class as households that are earning 2/3 or double the median income. Today, that would be between $50,000 and $150,000. But here's the number that they don't talk about. What it buys you today compared to what it bought during the times of your parents. And that gap is at the heart of everything. Let's start with the most visible one. Since 1970, the worker productivity increased by over 60%. Wages? They barely moved in real terms. In other words, American workers are producing more value than ever before, but are getting paid the same wage they were paid 50 years ago. Meanwhile, the three things that define middle class stability has moved up enormously. That's housing, healthcare, and education. A house that cost $25,000 in 1971 now costs around $400,000. A year of college that cost $400 in 1970 now costs around $35,000. Healthcare costs are now 600% higher than in 1980. Even though your paycheck maybe grows a little bit, it can't keep up with what it was supposed to buy. The middle class isn't spending more because they want to. They are spending more just to stay in place. Force number 2, the death of job security. The middle class was built on stable and long-term employment. You joined a company, you worked for it for a long time, you retired, you got your pension, and everything was good. Now, that world is gone. The rise of automation, AI, and everything has killed the job stability and security. And now, AI is starting to do the same thing with white-collar jobs. Accounting, legal work, journalism, marketing, customer service. The jobs that actually build the middle class are being automated. And the new jobs that are being created are either completely at the top or at the bottom. The middle is hollowing out. Force number 3, the housing crisis. You buy a home, it appreciates, you build equity, and then you pass it on to your children. For grandparents' generation, that worked out perfectly. For your generation, the door is closing. The fourth and most important way, debt is a way of life. The middle class has been kept alive artificially, not by raising wages or real prosperity, but by debt. Student loans to afford education, credit card to afford daily expenses, car loans to afford transportation, mortgages stretched out to the absolute limit to just afford housing. Total US household debt has now reached close to $17 trillion. I want you to really let that sink in. And debt has a brutal feature to it that not enough people are talking about. It doesn't just cost you money, it costs you time, your time. Every dollar that you spend on interest is a dollar that you can't invest into your future. Every year that you spend on paying back debt is a year that you lose not investing into your future. And that system isn't just destroying the middle class. It's actually profiting off of the decline of the middle class. Now, who's benefiting from that? That's a question you're probably asking yourself right now. If the middle class is losing, who's winning? In 1978, the top 1% of America owned about 23% of the national wealth. Today, it's over 40%. Since 2020, the year of the biggest economic crisis in this generation, the world's billionaires have doubled their wealth, while millions of people were losing their jobs, their money, and using debt just to survive. Now, this is not an accident. The middle class isn't disappearing because of bad luck or laziness. It's disappearing because the economic system is designed to gradually and deliberately transfer wealth upwards. And now it's working out just as planned. If you're between 20 or 30 right now, you're the first generation that is expected to be worse off than your parents. Not because you're less talented or because you work less hard, but because you entered a system that is already working against you. But here's the one thing that I want you to hear. Understanding the trap is the first step to getting out of it. I'm not going to leave you with just that problem. This is not why this channel exists. Here's what people who understand this are actually doing differently. Stop trading time for money exclusively. Start diversifying your income streams so that you are more safe. Build assets, not just savings. You need assets that are appreciating in value that you can use to pay off your debt. Treat debt as an emergency, not as a surviving tool. Invest in your earning power relentlessly. And finally, learn the system that you're in so that you can escape it. And now I know this truth may sound uncomfortable, but I think you have to see the beauty in it. It's always the starting point for something better. You can't fix what you don't understand. But now you start to understand what is actually going on. Now, if this opened your eyes, please share it with someone that you think that needs to hear this. And drop a comment. Do you still think the middle class dream is achievable? Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.